Now folks, recently I received a comment from a viewer on one of my overnight adventures. And at the time I didn't think a whole lot about the question. But over the last couple of days, it dawned on me that it really is a good question. And it's one that I should answer for the channel. My name is Luke, this is the Outdoor Gear Review, and today I'm discussing why I personally go out backpacking, hiking, and so on. With the overnight adventure that the question was asked, it was one of those trips, it was a quick in and out trip. It was snowy, I was actually injured, had a knee injury, it was cold, it was super windy, and the individual asked, why did I go through all of that effort to climb that mountain for that experience? And it's a good question. Why do we as outdoorsmen, outdoorswomen, adventurers, why do we go out, even if it's only for 12 hours, or 24 hours, or multiple days? I was thinking about this, and for those who have never been out into the outdoors, those who have never gone out on an adventure, they may not understand why we do this. I tell you, I love getting outdoors, everybody. It is the best thing in the entire world. It's my favorite thing to do. It is one of my only hobbies. I do numerous things in my life. I pay attention to my wife, I pay attention to my kids, I work, and I spend my time outside. Those are my passions. I don't watch much TV and I don't play very much video games. I like spending my time outside, and there's numerous reasons why that is. And in this episode, I am going over those reasons. My adventures in the outdoors outweigh, overpower those that I've had inside. Now you may be wondering, what am I talking about? Ask yourself this question. What did you do last night? Do you remember? You probably do, because it's only 24 hours ago. Now ask yourself, what were you doing a week ago? The odds are you have a vague idea. What about 3 weeks ago? What about 2 months ago? What about 6 months ago? The odds are you don't specifically remember what you were doing, what you were watching, what you were playing, because it truly means very little to you. You go through the motions, you do what you have to do to pass the days, to move on to other events. That's life. I'm the same way, folks. When I watch TV and all that stuff, it means so very little. I vaguely remember anything that I've watched and played and so on. But when it comes to the outdoors, when it comes to the experiences that I have out here, out on the trail, out in my kayak, hiking, backpacking, skiing, whatever, I remember every single one of those events. I remember the good ones, I remember the bad ones, the ones that were miserable. They leave these lasting impressions. Every single trip that I go on, every experience that I have, I come back different. I come back having experienced something that left a mark inside. Every single trip out impacts the inner wolf. And it's funny, with every single one of my adventures, I remember all of the details, everything that happens, because those events are important to me. What I watched on TV 2 weeks ago, I could care less about. It's just passing time. What I did, what I felt, what I experienced on the trail, I remember. You could take any adventure that I've been on, and I can remember the details surrounding that trip. Let's just take, this is just right off the top of my head here. No notes, no planning. But when my grandmother passed away, it was a few days after that, I went out for an overnight adventure down into the Pisgah National Forest. I started at Beacon Heights. It wasn't all that hot, and I remember hiking down. I needed to get water, so I had to go find it. And I hiked into an area that I've been to many, many times. And previously, it had always been overgrown, never had any idea that there was this beautiful field. It was amazing. Somebody had come and mowed it. I have no idea why, out in the middle of nowhere, but they did. It was unreal. And the sun going down, the mountains. It was an awesome trip. I remember every single detail about that trip because it was important to me. It's still important to me. And that's what I love about the outdoors. That's one thing that I love about the outdoors, is that the experiences out here will tell you exactly who you really are, good and bad. You will discover so much about yourselves when you're out on these adventures, when things get tough, when you start getting pissed off for whatever reason, when you start getting hot or cold or sore and so on. You will discover who you truly are. In many cases, most people don't know who they are. I think that is an issue that's facing our world today, the next generation. People are stuck behind screens, playing on phones. They have no idea what the real world is. They have no idea who they are. They watch TV, they pay attention to Instagram, all these people who truly don't mean anything, who have lives that do not relate to their own. I tell you, it can be extremely negative. I'm not really harping on the internet or technology or anything like that because I enjoy it myself. I use it to make a living. I'm making a video right now. But there's a big difference between technology and this. I personally make the decision more often than not to turn away from that stuff and to go out and explore. And I'm a better person because of it. I really am. I've been on so many adventures, good and bad. Talking about the bad ones for a moment. Even those I wouldn't trade for anything. Yes, I could have been miserable at the time when I was doing it, but looking back on it, I wouldn't trade that event, those experiences for anything. I mean, you're hiking along, it's super cold, you have your gear on, you're soaking wet. All of those events make you stronger inside. It makes you more confident. You're able to take on new tasks that you never thought that you could accomplish before. It is those moments that are the hardest that you will look back on and enjoy the most. Let's talk about my favorite aspects when it comes to the outdoors. And as mentioned before, it doesn't matter if it's camping, backpacking, skiing, kayaking, whatever. There's a sense of freedom that comes with every single one of those adventures that you're not going to find in your daily life. There's something about being out in the wilderness where every decision is yours. It's your responsibility, and the repercussions of it are yours. You own it. That's completely different than your average day. You go to work, you do what you have to do, you go home. There's not a whole lot of decision-making going on for most people. When you're in the outdoors, it's completely different. You have pure freedom to do anything that you want to. Every single time that I go out for a trip, I have new experiences. And some are big, some are small. For an example, the last time that I was out here at Lone Wolf Mountain, I was doing a test night video. So I was sitting around here, I had a fire going, I was waiting for it to get dark, and I was sitting in a chair, just warming myself, and I started dozing off. And I dozed off for a little bit, and I hear step, step, step in the leaves, right? So I turn around, turn on my headlamp, bobcat, huge bobcat, about 20 feet away. I stand up, scare the crap out of that thing, and it took off. But what an awesome experience. And I had that experience because I was outside in the outdoors. I will remember that forever. And tomorrow night when I watch something on television, I will forget it in no time. Now for myself, another benefit of being in the outdoors is that I get to be physically active. I get to move my body, I get to be stronger, have more stamina, and all of that continues into my daily life. It really is a win-win. You feel better about yourself, you actually feel better in general, physically, mentally, and you're able to take all of that and you can feel more confident in your daily life. Another incredible gift that comes with being in the outdoors is solitude, the peace, the quiet. Now you may live in an area where there's a ton of people like Colorado, but you can find those moments where you're all by yourself, where things are quiet, where you have time to think. You can solve problems. You can think about the past. You can think about the future. Solitude is an incredible gift. For myself, it's what I seek the most when I go out into the outdoors. If I wanted social interaction, I would go to Walmart. Now, of course, I love having experiences with other people, but at the same time, I'm a lone wolf, and I have no problem being out here in the outdoors all by myself. Both are amazing experiences. Now, being active in the outdoors can become a lifestyle. For my wife and I, it very much is. We tend to spend our time, energy, and money focused on the outdoors instead of new cars, new cell phones, computers, tablets, and all of that stuff. We rather invest in experiences, memories, adventures, and that's because in our opinion, all of that beats material possessions and so on. Experiences beat stuff any day of the week. Something to think about is that the value of material possessions fades, it diminishes over time. But when it comes to your experiences, your adventures, the value is always there. It's always there. It really is. It never diminishes. Every trip is special in its own way. Now, of course, folks, we have to talk about fun because going out on adventures is simply a ton of fun. There are some moments that are so exciting, so adrenaline-packed, that there's no comparison with your daily life. For an example, the first time that you're inside of your tent and a severe thunderstorm rolls over top, lightning crashing, thunder, you're scared. There's nothing like it. What about the first time that you come across a big black bear or a grizzly bear? You're scared to death, and at the same time, there's nothing like it. It is very easy to become an adventure junkie because everything outside of that in your daily life is so lame. But these adventures are so much fun. You're having to take your shoes off and ford a creek, ford a river. You're nervous yet excited. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. It is built into your DNA to be an explorer. It's inside of all of us. Everybody wants to see what is around that corner. What is the view on top of that mountain? It's all in here, and it's also in here. Of course, I have to talk about the challenging aspect to any adventure. Some are super easy, some are extremely difficult. The more challenging they are, in my opinion, the more fun. The more miserable I am, the more fun they are in the end, because I can look back on it and I can say, hey, I accomplished that. I conquered that goal. I went up that mountain. I was freezing cold, soaking wet. I was miserable, super hot, sweating my brains out. I climbed that. I did this. That sense of accomplishment should never be undervalued because it is very valuable. And again, as you push yourself, you will discover who you truly are. Now, of course, there are billions of different reasons why we get into the outdoors, but for this episode, I'm going to end on this one. This is my personal thought. When I head into the outdoors, it teaches me a lesson, and it's a lesson of appreciation. I appreciate things more when I head into the outdoors. It's things that you wouldn't even think about in your daily life. After you've been hiking all day, you ran out of water, it's super hot, and you come across a stream, and you're drinking some cold water. Trust me, you are going to appreciate that more than anything. On those cold, snowy hikes, you are going to appreciate being warm inside of your sleeping bag that night. You are going to appreciate that warm meal when you're tired and sore when you get done hiking for the evening. With the world that we live in today, it is very easy to become cynical about things, about life, other people. And with the outdoors, it can oftentimes change your perspective. Now, everybody, these are just a few reasons, and I do mean that, just a few. These are some of the reasons why I decided to lace up my shoes, grab my backpack, and head off as often as I do. I do it because I love it. It makes me feel good. I feel good about the world in general. I know this sounds like hippie talk, but the truth is I'm the furthest thing from being a hippie that you can get. For those who have never been into the outdoors, it can be scary. Take your time. Go slow. But keep doing it. Your first adventure out may be miserable. You'll be dirty, smelly, sweaty, cold, hot, thirsty, hungry, and so on. As you keep doing it, you are going to discover that within you, you absolutely love it. It's going to become addictive. With enough time on the trail, you will find that things begin to change within you, within here and physically as well. With all of that being said, everyone, make sure to comment down below and share to everyone why you personally get into the outdoors. Again, it doesn't matter if you're hiking, backpacking, snowshoeing, skiing, kayaking, canoeing, whatever it is that you like to do in the outdoors. Why do you do it? Comment down below. What is it about those adventures that fuels you, that has changed you? Make sure to comment down below. If you have any questions, make sure to email me. Until next time, everybody, take care, strength and honor, and get outside.